I'm Kit, and welcome to a conversation about expressing yourself and having sustainable fashion simultaneously. So, from about as early as I can remember, I loved fashion. I loved messing with my clothes, styling them in goofy ways, and playing with those fashion toys like the sticker books and the sketchbooks. But even then, quite immediately I felt this gap, like this quiet disconnect between what I loved and what I was supposed to love. Often, the outfits I picked out were nitpicked by my family members. I dressed more like a tomboy. I loved baggy clothes. I loved bright colors and clashing patterns. Pretty quickly, I felt like I needed to put myself in this box to not receive those negative comments. But I just loved clothes. I loved wearing what I wanted to wear. I loved toys that had to do with fashion. While that was the case, the toys always felt extremely feminine, and they were gently pushing me into that box as well. And ultimately, I got pushed into this inauthentic version of myself that I needed to be to fit in. So I've always thought about how clothes play a role in how people identify and express themselves, and they also play a role in further pushing people to fit the norms. Thinking about how women in the 50s and 60s had this uniform to work from home. The house dress was a symbol of the domestication of women. From there, I even realized it starts as young as it possibly can, with these toys that are only meant for girls, and only meant for feminine girls at that. And that if you're outside of that box, there's nothing there for you. The older I got, the more I confined myself to that box. And fitting in started to feel like it had to be this survival skill. At the same time, I was growing up with the internet, with fashion hauls, influencers, and microtrends, and the pressure to keep up was so constant. Not to mention impossible and completely unsustainable. And it wasn't until late high school, early college, when I really started to question it all. I moved from Arkansas to Chicago and had no idea who I was. And then I realized how much my identity had been created on other people's expectations. So I came out as bisexual. I started playing with my hair more and getting tattoos, and eventually started wearing what I wanted. And I wore it whether it received negative comments from my family or not. And of course, it did. All that being said, I realized how much I suppressed myself in my childhood and early adulthood to fit in to a box. And those norms still run so deep. I'm saying all this because I really want to start a conversation about that. And because clothing is completely symbolic, and this constant rotations of trends and fast fashion companies, and the idea that you need to have the next best thing to be cool and to express yourself is wrong. And so I want to emphasize this idea of blending self-expression with sustainable fashion practices. And while I know there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, there are still best practices, like getting clothes secondhand or doing a clothing swap with your friends, upcycling, buying from reputable brands that are carbon neutral or do good things for the environment, and resisting micro-trends, realizing if it's something you actually want or if it's just on the internet for a day. Buying things that are going to last and won't disintegrate in a year. And this right here, this is where that conversation begins. About reclaiming fashion, about making it sustainable, and most importantly, about making it yours. So I've reimagined those sticker books, the ones that made me feel like I didn't fit into that box. And I used found fabrics and abstract shapes and inclusive bodies to really just represent more people and allow people to explore themselves while they're using it. This sticker book really just allows you to play, whether you're 8 or 85. As I close this out, I want to leave you with this. How can embracing sustainable fashion choices be a powerful way to show the world who you are?